There she is.
It's cold this morning.
We're about 100 yards from the Arizona Trail. We are going to hike the beginning of the Redington Mountains Passage 9, I think it is. Yeah, right there. Right there, that's the mountain. You can see, if you saw well, you could see there's snow up there. There's about 5,000 feet of elevation distance between here and the top. Boy, I sure hope I can make it. I don't know. Feeling a little bit punky today. A little bit. So we're gonna do about half of that today. We're doing about 7 miles all the way to the edge of Saguaro National Park. So I got all day to do that. I'm gonna camp, because you can only camp in a permitted area inside of Saguaro. So we have to for me, I can't just walk right through there. A lot of these young guys, they just walk through there. They go in one side and out the other before the day is over. But because I have to have a permit, because I can't walk all the way through, we're gonna take, basically we're gonna take 3 days to do it. And it's a lot of elevation. So we're gonna divide the elevation up into two 2,500 foot pieces, and then come down. So we'll be up and down 2,500 feet tomorrow, and then the following day down the last 2,500 feet. So it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be good. If you look over there, this is beautiful country, my goodness. See over there? I don't know if you can quite see it, way in the distance, way up there. That's the top of Mount Lemmon. So when we get done with this, let me go do that. Same deal, 5,000 feet. It's gonna take several days for me to do it. But we're having fun. We're having fun, Granny?
Oh yes, we're having fun.
We're having fun, Granny? Yes, we are. Well, there is the trail right here. It's beautiful this morning. You know, I love this time of day when the sun is just coming up, the light is low. Lots of cool things to see. See that beautiful maguey? They call that, I think, in Mexico, but I believe in English we call that a cecil. When we were young, we used to buy baling twine, the old-fashioned twiney kind. It's made out of that stuff. They used to grow it in Mexico in big old plantations. Pretty neat. So we left Redington Pass here about, I don't know, half an hour ago maybe. Meanwhile, back at the camper girls, they're all down there, and we drove yesterday through Tucson and up that Redington Pass road. I'll tell you what, that's a bumpy booger. My oh my, that thing has a lot of bumps. It's a 12-mile road. It took us several hours to get up there, I think. We were all pretty tired just from riding in the car to get to the trailhead. Now we're gonna be back up that thing again here in about, if I'm well, it'll be in about 3 more days. We'll be back over there and going the other way toward Mount Lemmon. So that's kind of the plan there. Got up this morning and packed my pack with all the stuff that I need to spend overnight, right? They're not slack packing me today. I got to spend 2 nights out. So Mica Mountain is going to be my first night out since clear over there at Miller Peak. So there won't be any sourdough hotcakes in the morning for me. And if I make hot coffee, it's going to have to be the kind that I make out on the trail, which is fine. That's kind of fun. Gives it a little bit of a different flavor. Kind of enjoy that too by itself. I really have enjoyed getting slack packed. I'll tell you what, that's been never did that before. That's pretty fun. Enjoy that. You know, it gives you can make more miles. It isn't quite as hard on your body. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Get out here in the wilds. Had a bit of an experience the other day with a health problem that I had never really had before. You know, getting me out hiking is always a challenge on the health end. One of the things that I have developed since having had all that chemotherapy is something called heat rash. Basically, anytime it gets above about 70, I'll get a little bit of it. But I'll tell you what, the other day I got a bad case of heat rash. Probably the easiest hiking day we've had on the Arizona Trail. Wasn't at all difficult hiking. Very easy hike. And so I just was kind of cruising along, slack packing, I mean having no troubles, thinking nothing of it. About a mile before I got back to the camp, or back to the camper, I guess you should say, I started feeling bad. I just wasn't feeling good, you know. So it was only noon, you know, I hadn't walked that far. Kept on walking, feeling worse and worse, you know. Finally sat down and took a rest. Just wasn't feeling good, you know. Finally, I mean, slowly walked myself into camp about 12:15, you know, right after noon. Hadn't eaten my lunch yet because I knew I'd be back at the camper. Sat down, and I'm gonna tell you what, I got hit like crazy. My legs, they all just turned red all the way from basically from my waist down, pretty much. Big old blotches of red stuff all over them. And so I had got sunburned a little bit too. I'm not sure how much of that was sunburn and how much of that was heat rash. Kind of hard to tell, you know, those kinds of things. But anyhow, sat there for about 3 minutes, got some fluids in me. Then I just started shaking like a leaf. Turned out I had a fever. I'd almost got clear up to 102, I think. I had never had that experience before. Woohoo, it's the challenges of dealing with ill health and you don't know about it, right? And it really wasn't even that hot. It was just like maybe low 70s, low to mid 70s. It wasn't hot. Man, I was shaking like a leaf. They thought I had caught some kind of bug, and then I had because I had a fever for hours, shaking and rattling around. They said, okay, you're off the trail. You're off the trail. They took me back home. By the time I got home, the fever was gone. Did a little research onto it. Turns out I had something I had never even heard of before called sun poisoning. It's where you get the effects of sunburn, probably the effects of heating a little bit, and then too much heat rash, you know, when the whole big chunk of your skin gets compromised in some way. You can do this sometimes when you get sometimes you can do this even when you get a really bad sunburn too. That's what the fever was from. As soon as I got cooled down, I was fine. So we spent a couple days over in southwestern Arizona at our friend's house. Had another rest before we tackled this one. So we waited. Sunburns all healed up, got me going again. Tell you what, it's fun to be hiking. It's even a challenge to try and figure out how to overcome some of these health things we got going on. But it can be a little discouraging at times too, because I would just like to go out and go hiking, you know, I'd like to get her done. But guess what? That's not how we get to do. At this stage of my life, I get to do it the slow way like this. Little by little and figuring it out. You know, recovering and getting on it again. So, gotta kind of enjoy that. That's part of the journey, is the fact that you're not as healthy as you used to be and you're not as young as you used to be. There it is. There's the Arizona snowman. The notes, comments on the gut hook say that there actually isn't a water source here, or at least it's not near the trail. So, kind of always interested to keep track of water in Arizona. You want to make sure you've got your water sources all lined out. You don't want to do without. Yeah, I would suspect that I'm largely have lost all the elevation I need to today, and it's going to be mostly uphill from here on. Kind of a pretty spot though, here walking down here underneath the trees. But there is actually a fair amount of green grass starting to grow down here, which was not the case in any of the places I've been so far. I kind of like it when there's a little bit of green going on. Kind of like it. A little bit of green inside of the in the desert is always pretty as can be. It's always kind of fun to walk down into these washes like this. See this big wash? The air's always cool down here because it's collecting all the cool air. Kind of comes down the wash just like a river. So it's actually a lot colder right here than it will be up there about 100 feet, which is always fun. Interesting stuff. Yeah, there you go. Italian trap a tank. As we get closer to this mountain, listen back there. That's the sound of falling water. This is only the second time I've actually heard running water on this trail. Back there, this is Tanque Verde watershed. I'm not sure if it's called a creek or it's just a wash. I'm not sure, but at any rate, there's a lot of good water right there. That looks kind of nice, don't it, huh? Well, look at that, guys. We're making some water. It'll take about 5 minutes to do that, probably. I love to find water out in the desert. I mean, it's just like a cool thing. Every time you do it. Every time I find water out in the desert, especially if it's running like this. I especially like to hear the sound of flowing water, which is something you hardly ever hear in the desert. At least something I haven't heard since I've been out here. But guess what? There's like a little teeny tiny waterfall right here. Oh, it's down there. I gotta go over there and see if I can walk over there without killing myself. Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Have a look. There is a waterfall right there in the desert. Ain't that cool? Well, breaking one of my rules here. I don't like to talk while walking up hills. Because this is a steep one. I got about I got about a mile to go till I camp tonight. It's early, it's 12:30 or something. And I just really wanted to show you some of the scenery that's back here behind me. Pretty amazing, actually. Really cool. And so, yeah, I'll break the rule about walking uphill because it's a steep hill. Got about a mile to go and about 1,000 feet of elevation to go. And I'm telling you what, this hill ain't no joke. Woo! It's gonna be a blast. Okay, well, park boundary's right up there somewhere. About half a mile away, maybe a little more. And I'm done for the day when I get there. Woohoo, right? Yeah. Well, look at that. There's the reason they call it Mica Mountain. Look at all that mica laying there. Pretty cool. Well, look at that, guys. That is the first snow of Mica Mountain. There's quite a bit of snow on this, quite a bit of snow over here on this east side. There's more snow over there. Yeah. But what I know is I have a very good pair of hiking poles. And I'll put away the camera and I'll hike safely. And we will we'll get to the top of this thing. You can see you've got camp all set up here. See, I have all the clothes on that I've got can get on. That's pretty nice. There's the tent. It's cooking over there on the rock. Yeah. And so probably be heading into the tent here shortly because because cold. Because it's cold. I'm actually camping above some snow down there, and there's more snow up there, and so right at the snow line. And so it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a cold night, but I got the gear to stay warm, so that's not a problem. But what I can't do is stay out of the tent and stay warm, unless I was walking or something, you know. So it's gonna be go to bed tonight, get up tomorrow, cook some oatmeal, cook some coffee, and head right back up that hill right there. Well, good morning, folks. A little bit chilly this morning. Just got up and packed up camp and got about 1/10 of a mile up here to the national park boundary. And it's steep. 1/10 of a mile of steep. You know what I noticed? Arizona Trail is steep. It's not just steep, it's rocky. Look back there. Rocks, 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 rocks everywhere. Yeah, well, I can't breathe and talk, so I'm gonna check in with you later. Well, there you go, guys. Entering Saguaro National Park. Somewhere down there in that big old flat open area. It's not flat when you get down there, but I think it's like over on that far side is Redington Pass, where we started out yesterday morning. It's kind of pretty in the sunrise. I'm gonna have to get out my poles again here pretty quick. And there you go. Arizona Trail, Saguaro National Park. Well, here's some flattish ground. Flattish. Yeah. Plan today is we're gonna hike to a place called Grass Shack Campground, where I have a reservation, and I don't know, that's about 10, 11, maybe 12 miles, 11 or 12 miles. It's a ways. It's a ways, and it's up there first, top of that hill, although it may be back that way more probably, and then it's across the top. First thing we come to is a place called Italian Spring, where hopefully we can get us some water. I got about half a liter left, and so worst case scenario, we get up here and we have to melt snow to get water, but it looks like there's plenty of it up there. So, yeah. And so that's kind of the plan for the day. Look at that little cactus sitting there growing right in the rocks. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now look at this, there's several more growing right there in the rocks. Kind of cool, ain't it? Oh, there's another one right there. Well, I think this is my last view of the pretty rocks in the bottom of that valley. Of course, if you look way over there, after we get done with this one, we tackle that one. Relatively the same business. Got a bit more to do today to go get to the top. A bit more to do today to get to the top. Whew. Well, we're pumping water at Italian Trap Spring. Now this is probably the worst water I've had to pump since I got here into Arizona. You can see it's a little stagnant pool water. Although the water is very clear, actually nice. It has a few little floaties in it, as in chunks of this reed, you know, that's growing all over the place have fallen in there and broken into little bits and rotted and stuff. And so the way we did that is I used that little green bottle there, and I held the little green net inside of my knock bag up there, and then I scooped it out and got the cleanest water I could, and then poured it straight into the bag, and that way all the floaties got caught inside of here. And as you can see, you didn't need that stuff down there inside of your filter, right? So filtered that out pretty good. Might be here for half an hour, I imagine. I got some socks that I want to adjust, and I want to rest a little bit. I got another 1,000 feet or so to get over the top of the mountain. 79. So I've got about 600 feet to go or so. Yeah, 600 feet to go to get to the top of the mountain. And then it's all downhill from here, from there, which for me actually is not the best deal, the downhill, because of the darn knees. But anyhow, we're doing the best we can, right? Yeah. So, pumping water, having fun, look at that. I've already got half a liter down there and didn't even do anything. I like that system. It's pretty darn good. Well, you know, about 3 weeks ago I started this AZT thing over at Miller Peak in the Miller Wilderness area over there. And I got into this same thing, pine forest that has snows coming off of it. And it has this smell, it's just amazing. I mean, it kind of smells piney, kind of woody, kind of earthy a little bit. I don't know, I might be imagining things, but I almost feel like there's a little bit of spice in it, a little bit. Can't tell exactly. Now this is the guy that lost his smell entirely, you know, from chemotherapy. So don't trust me for it. It's probably all wrong. But nonetheless, I'm telling you, if you were here, you would smell this and you'd go, yeah, that is cool, because it's cool. Man, what a beautiful, this is a beautiful hike along the top of this ridge here. I'm liking it. This is Manning Camp. This is one of 2 places I could have stayed in the park. As you can see here, big beautiful stone fireplace in there. Apparently they pack horses in here. They got lots of places to tie horses up. Yeah. Pretty nice. They got a little bit of wood in their wood box over there, looking good. Let's see if their toilet's open, because I think that's one thing I would like to do, is use that if it's open. And it's open, so I'm guessing I'm stopping right here for now. Walking down here, got down here by Himalaya Creek. Look what these big old rocks are like around here. You could go camping under that thing if you wanted. Pretty neat. Like a rock shelter. Yeah, I like it. I carry a chair with me because my feet are bad enough that I don't like to sit on the ground. Some of this is just age, some of it's not being in very good shape. 5 years ago I couldn't raise my hands over my head for 10 seconds because of all the chemotherapy. 7 rounds of chemotherapy plus 2 stem cell transplants did not help. And look what they got here at Grass Shack Campground. Check that out. I got water for tomorrow, no problem. Shoot, we even got a toilet. Look at this. Up there, toilet up there. Got my tent all set up over there underneath these big old live oaks. It's gonna be a good night, I can see it. Grass Shack Campground, woohoo! Walking down the road this morning, and I don't have my regular camera. I just was having so much fun taking video of the way that I ran myself out of batteries. So I'm finishing up that Rincon Mountains section, which is also the Saguaro National Park section. So oh, it's beautiful here. Got about a 2,500 foot downhill walk and about 12 miles approximately. And I know you guys could see that right behind me probably. It's right out there. Down below me, that's Tucson, Arizona, right there. And so we're headed down there. I won't be going exactly there, but somewhere near there.